All right, what's up, Math Finance? This is your fourth week. I don't remember now. Okay, closing down. We got a couple weeks left. This week we're gonna go. It's a pretty short video. This is something you guys did a lot of, and a lot of different applications of. We're gonna do a little simple savings and little compound savings. So simple interest and compound interest formula right here. I meant to give it to you on the assignment that was posted on the website, but I didn't. So hopefully you watched this video. If not, if you were like confused, if you Googled, you would find something pretty similar to this for simple interest. They may just give you this though. They may actually just find the interest, and you would still have to add your initial value that you had in the account. But this is the whole equation for simple interest and compound interest. If you Googled compound interest, this would be what you found exactly. Okay, so remember, simple interest is the interest is compounded one time. Okay, once per year technically. All right, so it's a much more simple formula. It's like if you lended your friend $100 and said, "Hey, you owe me 5% interest for every year. You don't pay me back, or you could do every month if it's like that." Okay, and you would just do 5% every month. But that would be more like a compound interest. So let's say your friend owed you, let's say you lent them $1,000 and you gave them 5% interest for every year they don't pay you back. So at every year you'd add on 5% interest. Compound interest is different because you're actually compounding or calculating the interest every single period. So it could be monthly, quarterly, daily, yearly, semi-annually, stuff like that. Okay, so simple interest for the first one here, compound interest for the second one. Real quick, run through two problems just to show you what to do, and you should be pretty well set up for your homeworks this week, your assignments. So your first assignment is I think like 6 problems of simple interest. So let's run through this example right here. It says determine the total value of a savings account that started with $3,000 with an interest rate of 5% after 3 years. So we're using our simple interest formula. Okay, the F again, remember, I guess I didn't go over that very quickly here. F is the future value. What's our final value? I put total value here, but it's really just where you're going to end. Okay, P is your initial value on both equations. R is your interest rate on both equations. As a decimal, okay, decimal. If not, you're going to gain crazy amounts of interest, and as nice as that would be, it's not realistic. T is time in years, and then N, which is you only see that on the compound interest formula, is again how often you're compounding that interest, and we'll do that here in a second. So future value of a simple savings account. Remember using this equation right here. So if I want to find my future value, I need to use my initial value of 3,000 plus my initial value times my interest rate. If it's 5%, my decimal's right there, 1, 2. Add a 0 in the empty spot. And we're doing this for 3 years. Okay, so that would be the equation that you would write down. Again, hopefully you guys have a calculator at home. I mean, your phone will do just fine for these. Again, these aren't crazy numbers here. So realistically, we'll do it step by step. We have $3,000 plus this right here. When I put that in my calculator, I get 450. And then I add them together. So in the end, the future value of this account is going to be $3,450. Okay, simple interest. It's that simple. Haha. Okay, make sure you have this equation. Again, it's at the top of this. You may find something similar to it on Google if you were to Google it, but hopefully you find it here. Again, plug in your values. P is your initial. R is your interest rate as a decimal. T is your time in years. Put it on your calculator, and here is your final value, $3,450. So that's simple interest. And then you guys have like 6 or 7 of the compound interest, and that's what this one is. You know it's compound interest because it says compounded monthly in this case, but it could say anything right here. Monthly, yearly, daily, quarterly, semi-annually, blah, 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 blah. So our equation for this is F equals, I already forgot, P parentheses, yeah. P parentheses 1 plus your interest rate divided by your compounding, how many times you're compounding it, all raised to the n times t. Okay, so remember, this is our compound interest formula right here. Again, P is your initial value. Notice I use the same exact problem here, basically. So still $3,000. One's always there, by the way. It's just always 1. 1 plus your interest rate. Again, it's 5%, so it's 0.05. And here I'm dividing it by n. In this case, n is how many times you're compounding it in a year. So if I'm compounding it monthly, that means that's 12 times in a single year. And then you're going to raise whatever is in parentheses here, this 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12. You're going to raise it to a power, and that power is whatever n times t is. So in my case, n is 12. T, we're doing this account for 3 years. So if you were to piece it together step by step, the first thing you would do, stop. Is you would tell me that 12 times 3 is 36. Okay? And then you would go to your calculator. If you're doing this step by step on like a phone calculator, your answers may vary right here. And that's fine because you probably don't have a calculator that's going to be able to allow you to input all of this at the same time. So that's going to be kind of tough, but it'll be okay. Again, if your answer is somewhat close to what I expect it to be, that's fine. So you would plug this into your calculator, and I'm trying to do it on a phone calculator right here to see the best possible way of doing it. I don't know if you can raise something to the 36th power on your phone calculator. Maybe that. It's going to be kind of tough to do this on a phone calculator, but I did end up getting a final answer, and the final answer at least makes sense. You should make somewhere near what the other account made, a little bit more, because you're compounding your interest more. So in the end, I get $3,484.42. So when you try to put this in your phone calculator, so let's write it down again. I would tell you to do this parenthesis first. Okay, and when you do that parenthesis first, you get like 1 point. If you just put change color, if you just put this in your calculator right there, you get like 1.0041. Okay, round off 2 decimal places, but in this case I want 4 decimal places. I don't know why I said that. You need to include any of these in leading zeros. So 1.0041. And then you would raise that to the 36th power. And again, you can do that on your phone calculator by pressing, you have to turn it sideways and do the X to the Y power thing. It's a little X with a little Y. Okay, and then just once you click that button, you'll type in your power. And that gets me 1.16 technically. Okay, if we're rounding to 2 decimal places. And then 1.16 times your initial value. You get 3,480 this way. Because we're rounding a couple times, so it's going to be a little more nice answer. But realistically, if you sent in this right here, you knew where everything went, you knew how to set up the equation, and this answer maybe wasn't exactly what I expected. I'll obviously be pretty lenient with that, because again, you're probably using phone calculators or something, and they're not as easy to use. Okay, but this is how you do a compound interest formula savings account. Again, this is your equation. Your initial value is P, your R is your interest rate, your N is how many times you compounded in a month. So if it was daily, you'd put 365, which I don't think I gave you anything like that. If it was semi-annually, that's twice a year, so you'd put 2 in there. If it was quarterly, it'd be 4 times, because you're going to check it 4 times, a quarter, 4 times in a year. Okay, but I think I gave you a lot of monthlies. But if it's quarterly, it's 4. Okay, that's where you're going to put for your N, and then your T is just how long the account's going. Okay, plug it in, make sure you're doing your best to put it in your calculator and get your final answer. Okay, I think you have like 12 problems, 13 problems combined this week. Make sure you get them done, turn them in. This is a really good time to really boost your grades and just kind of review some of the things that we hit on this year. Hope you guys are, keeping up, doing your stuff, staying out of trouble, staying safe, and just I'll see you guys as soon as possible. See ya.